Alright, welcome back to Kazi's Cards. We've got the re-recorded audio of our Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! PSA submission that was done on my Instagram live a little over a month ago now. Just getting that video fixed up now and sent out for everybody on YouTube, just with some better audio. And so this was part of a TCG special sent earlier this year to PSA back in April with 38 items, mix of Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. And so as I get these cards out of there, you'll see I will put the picture of the label from the card that I cracked out and sent back. So that was Battle Pack 2 War of the Giants Obelisk the Tormentor first edition that initially got a PSA 6 when I sent it in a year or so ago, which was a pretty surprising grade to me because the card looked good. You know, if it got an 8 or a 9, I probably wouldn't have even questioned it, but the 6 just didn't make any sense at all, so I had to crack that one out and send it back in to try my luck again. I know sometimes it's a bit of a shot in the dark with these. Unfortunately, you hope for a little more consistency from PSA being the biggest grading company, but I guess being the biggest company also has drawbacks because you have so many different reviewers and maybe busy periods that they go through. But anyways, let's get into it here. We'll see when we come to it. So first, this is a Debella Star PSA 9 sent in for somebody else. So not many of those graded. I think that's more of a card that people use actually in decks. And okay, so here we have an Obelisk, the Tormentor, in a 10. So I sent two in. One was the one I cracked out, and one was a new one that I sent in. So you'll see on the serial numbers a little later once I get the second one across, which one is which. But so far one of them got a 10. Um, and you'll see in a bit if that was the original 6. So here is another obelisk, but from the Legendary Collection 25th anniversary. So it's the quarter century secret rare. It's actually got an attribute error in the top right corner. The attribute is in Italian instead of English. I didn't realize that when I sent them in. It only got picked up once PSA did their product research, and I was like, "What Italian error? That's weird." But here's a Burstinatrix, Elemental Hero Burstinatrix, first edition in the PSA 9. So that's from the Lost Millennium, just original print of Burstinatrix. So that's pretty cool. There's a couple Elemental Heroes in here. Here's a right leg of the Forbidden One Exodia piece from Legend Blue Eyes reprint set. So not first edition, it's unlimited. But that gets a near mint 8, which is not bad. If you saw my Sports Card Expo video, then you see that I've got 4 pieces now. Here's a pot of greed from Battle Pack 2 War of the Giants. I believe it's a mosaic rare. And that gets a gem mint 10. Not a whole lot of those graded either. Here's a Monster Reborn from Legend of Blue Eyes reprint set. And that gets a 9. And here's a Dark Magician Girl, first edition from Legendary Duelist Season 3, and this is a red text edition, and that gets a PSA 10, so very nice card there. Can't go wrong with Dark Magician Girls, and that's a little harder one to get with the red text, and it looks really nice. So here back to Elemental Heroes. This is a first edition Sparkman, and that gets a 9. So all these Elemental Heroes I had sitting around in binders for like over a decade. I wasn't even expecting nines on them, so it's pretty cool that I got two nines there already. Here's a Blue Eyes White Dragon, also from the Legendary Collection 25th anniversary, and it also has a tribute error with an Italian. It says Luce in the top instead of light, and the obelisk says Divino, I think. I think it was instead of Divine. Um, Here's a Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, first edition in a PSA 10. Yeah, there's a little more Yu-Gi-Oh mixed in here than it'll be Pokemon for the most part here on out. And here's the other Obelisk Tormentor from the Battle Pack, which gets a 9. So, when I re-looked at the serial numbers, the first serial number is the one that I put on top that I sent in. That was the cracked out one. So that turns out to be the 10 there. So pretty wild. You get a 6 1 year, you send it back in, exact same card. Didn't do anything else to it. Maybe I just re-wiped it with the microfiber cloth, but then it comes back a 10, another submission. Like that's a huge leap in grades, and it just doesn't. It just kind of defies logic that that happened, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm happy with it now. Had to send it in twice to get a grade I wanted, but it is what it is, I guess. It's just the funny part of grading. It happens sometimes, but at least it's a 10 now. So here's Elemental Hero Clayman, also first edition from the Lost Millennium, and that gets a 10. So pretty happy to get at least 110 on those Elemental Heroes. Yep, and that's the Avian first edition, and that gets a 9. So this is a alternate art Sparkman, not from the Lost Millennium, is from the Legendary Collection GX. Did pretty well on the Elemental Heroes. Now we're on to some Pokemon, and there's a Mew in a 9. That is from the Ultra Premium Collection, Mew EX. And here we get a Pikachu Radiant Collection, that gets an 8. Now we have a Poliwhirl, a lot from the Mew EN set. This is a full art, and that gets a 9. Then a Mewtwo, that gets a Gem Mint 10. And an Umbreon, that is a 9 there. There's another Yu-Gi-Oh card mixed in there. So there's another leg, left leg, the Forbidden one that I sent in, Legend of Blue Eyes reprint, that also gets an 8. So here's a Mewtwo from the movie promo pack from 1999, and that gets a 7. So it's the first of three that we sent in. Wasn't too sure what to expect. I took these out of original packets, so I bought them in the original packets. So you're never really sure what the condition is in there. And here's a Venusaur hollow from the Classic Collection set. I think that's a 25th anniversary, and that gets a 9. And here's a super cool Charizard EX illustration rare. That gets a 10. That's probably the nicest Pokemon card. That is in the submission. Really, really a nice card. Just the artwork's amazing on there. One for myself, actually. This one wasn't mine that I sent in. Um, so I wouldn't mind trying to pick one up myself. I'm not much of a Pokemon collector, but that would be cool. Here's a Pidgeot EX, and that gets a 9. And here's a Entei reverse foil from the third movie promo pack, which got a 10. I actually traded this at the Sports Card Expo in Toronto this past spring, for to get the price down on the Exodia pieces I bought. Here's a Moltres EX that gets a 9. And here is a Snake Eyes Flameberg Dragon that gets a 9. This is a Pikachu EX promo red and blue collection. That gets a 7. We knew it was a little bit beat up, but I was hoping for an 8 or 9 on it. But it does come back a 7. I do think it's a fairly rare card. Here's a Blastoise EX, and that gets an 8, unfortunately. I didn't really see anything too wrong with that card when I was looking it over, but it comes back an 8. So that could even be a crack and resend candidate if really wanted to. And here's a second Mewtwo movie promo that we sent in, and this one gets a Gem Mint 10, so I was pretty happy to at least get 110 on those. That's just for my PC, a bit of a nostalgic card for me. And here's a Venusaur EX illustration rare, that gets a 10, that's really nice. And here is a Switch trainer card, that gets a 9. And here's a Blastoise EX, that gets a 9. And here's the last Yu-Gi-Oh card, which you can barely even see because it's a ghost rare of Red Dragon Archfiend, but it gets a Gem Mint 10. It's first edition. When you see it in person, it's a pretty cool card. It's hard to appreciate through the camera there. You can barely even make it out, but Ghost Rare is pretty awesome. Here's a Zapdos EX that gets a Mint 9. Here's the last Mewtwo movie promo. So the last one gets an 8. So we did 7, 8, and 10. Not too bad. Don't really know what to do with the 7s and 8s. Probably just hang on to them for now. And the last card here is a Nidoking illustration rare, and that gets a 10. So overall, we did pretty good, I would say. Definitely a lot of 9s, but a good number of 10s, and not too many that got surprising low grades. You know, just one or two. Maybe the Blastoise illustration rare was the only one that surprised me a bit. The other ones I was kind of expecting. Actually, that one of those Pikachus that got the 7, maybe was hoping for an 8 there at least. But other than those two, this is pretty successful TCG submission. So I don't do too many of those compared to the sports submissions. I usually have more sports going on, but when I and a few other people have enough cards to send off for TCG, I will do that, maybe once a year. So PSA, if you're a collectors club member, they always have a good TCG price going on, even without a special. I think it's like 15 US without a special per card, which is pretty darn good. So I can kind of just like save those off and send them anytime. Pretty sizable submission here this time with 43 cards. A few of them are up on eBay if I haven't sold already. A lot of them are for collection though, and a good number of them weren't. Mine sent in for other people too. I'd say maybe 20 of these were mine, but there you go. There's a stack. Good stack of 10s, a lot higher stack of 9s. But I was kind of expecting that, just with the nature of the cards I was sending in, especially Yu-Gi-Oh. A lot of stuff's just literally pulled out of binders. So we're sending off another sports submission to PSA to take advantage of the special they had going on in May. I believe it was 16 US a card, 16 or 17 US a card. So we got a pretty sizable submission going off there with a couple very big cards going in, ones that are definitely going to get upcharged because they do not fit under the bulk declared value, but I just wanted to send them in anyways. To get them in there. Something I learned now, you could just send them in and they'll upcharge you. You send them in with your bulk submission and they'll just upcharge you if they want to upcharge you. So, it doesn't really matter the value of the cards that you're sending in. The only drawback is that you're limited on the amount of insurance that you get just in the event that the package is lost or stolen or something. But there's enough low end cards that I sent in where if I just put a declared value of 300 on everything, that even if the package got lost, I would still be more than fine. But you guys will see what those bigger cards are that I sent in. in a few months when the submission's back. So I know we gotta wait a bit, which sucks, but that's the way grading works. But in the meantime, you know, in I think 2 more weeks, the Upper Deck game dated moments on EPAC will be wrapping up. I will be doing a video on that to see if we get lucky with the redemption cards and getting Connor Bedard auto. You know for sure he's going to have some auto cards in that. It would be crazy if he didn't. We don't know the set of cards yet, but I imagine there will be at least one, maybe two, with Bedard on it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So in about 2 weeks, I think that'll be wrapped up, and you can expect a video from me on that. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you are not already, and put down in the comments if you like seeing the TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon stuff, or if you're more of just a sports fan. You know, try to mix up the interests here a little bit. But yeah, just let me know, and thanks for checking out this video. Have a good one.